Hello once again, Monster Hobbies Model Car Garage Mechanics. Welcome back to another great unboxing video. I'm so glad you could be here to watch this great unboxing. So today we're looking at Moebius' 1961 Pontiac Catalina kit. Now this car, it was known as a bubble top, and that's because of the roof design here with those A-pillars. Gave it a bubble look. There were quite a few of those cars made between 61 and 62, like Chevrolet Impalas, Oldsmobiles, and Buicks all had this same kind of roof. So without further ado, let's take a look at our Pontiac bubble top for 1961. Pontiac for 1961 was all redesigned and looking brand new. They had pretty much gotten rid of the rocket look from 1960, which of course was a carryover from 59, and they have restyled it with these really interesting looking grills up front that are sunken in under the hood, which is really quite cool. Elongated body and the bubble top, like I was saying before. Now the box top here is actually from an original 1961 Pontiac brochure, and this is a skill level 3 kit in 1/25th scale for ages 15 and up. On this side of the box, we can see some of the cool features here, like our front end. We also have our steering wheel. This kit contains over 100 parts, and it says engine bay with optional opening hood right here. And you can see a wonderful powder blue looking Pontiac. We see more of the features here on this side of the box with the chrome parts and full detailed decal sheet. As we move the box along, we can also see that we've got a V8 engine and a detailed interior. So I can't wait to open this up. How about you? Let me know in the comments down below. Now let's open up the lid on our great model and see what's inside. Now the box is a little bit tight here, but I got it. There we go. So what we have right away is the chrome parts tree. This is looking really nice in here. Then we've got our glass components and tires, so our taillights actually, and our front windshield right here, as well as the clear steering wheel. Pontiac had those back in the day. Of course you have to paint the sides up. Then we've got parts trees, our body, the undercarriage inside the body, and there's our engine and suspension components. Looks quite good. We also have our firewall here, a hood, and interior components. Got a decal sheet, which we'll save to the end. And then Moebius includes full color instructions. So this is well worth the value of the kit. Looking at the instructions, we see this wonderful illustration from the 1961 Pontiac brochure. This, of course, is our Catalina, and again, really wonderful. It looks like the top of the box. On this side of the instruction sheets, we have the important read this first section, and this tells you what to do before you begin building your model. We also have painting tips down here, and instructions on the decal application. We also have the keys to the parts. So a circle with a number in it is a plastic part, and a square with a number is a decal. When we open up the instructions fully on the back, it has the suggested paint colors. And here we have flat rubber, flat black, semi-gloss black, gloss black, steel, raw iron, burnt iron, or rusty iron. We also have the official GM licensed product, and then a bunch of different things. It says Testers offers a wide range of hobby enamels and lacquers suitable for use on plastic kits, although their range of factory matching colors is very limited, and it goes on. But this model kit came out in 2017 by Moebius, and I can't wait to see what it looks like in the instructions to see how good this kit is. Our instruction sheet opens up like a big map, which will be really useful for when you're building the model. However, it could be quite hard to actually film this because it's not like a book or something where I can fold it around. So starting with step 1, we have the engine. So we've got our right and left hand side, separate oil pan. We have a lower radiator hose, front engine cover, fuel pump, heater hose, a generator, fan belt and our fan. And then in step 2, once we get this assembly put together, we can add the rest of our engine. So we've got an air cleaner top and a bottom, dual carburetors, our intake manifold, our distributor, oil breather cap for our valve cover, which goes on our cylinder head. And then we have the exhaust manifolds. We have an oil filter, a starter motor on this side, as well as the upper radiator hose and the fuel line and the heater hose. Panel 2 is showing our interior going together. It says important, open flashed over locator holes for exhaust system and floor before assembling and adding seats. So here we see 2 red circles, which is referring to those holes that it says to open. So here we have our floor pan, our shift lever, the left side interior panel and the right side panel, our seat back, the front bench seat with the bench seat back. Then we have the horn ring, our steering wheel, steering column, dashboard, firewall, brake master cylinder, steering box, battery, and all this together will make for a really wonderful interior. In panel 3, we begin to build up our chassis. So here we have a full perimeter frame in here with left upper control arm and right upper control arm. Then we have our exhaust pipes here. We also have the left lower and right lower control arms. Here's our engine being installed with a radiator hose. There's our radiator and the radiator core support. So all this will go in together, and then we can move on to step B of our chassis assembly. Panel 3B continues with our chassis assembly, and here we have the differential, which is made up of 7 pieces. And it's interesting that this is a top and a bottom for our differential, instead of being split down the middle this way for a front and back end of the differential. So I found that to be interesting. So once you get this together, you hook it in underneath those control arms and then add in your shock absorbers with the springs going into the holders down here. We have our drive shaft up the center, which will connect to the transmission on your engine. And then we have kingpins up front, as well as the lower front suspension and more springs. Panel 4 shows our wheel and tire assembly, and we actually get some optional wheels in here. So first we have our primaries, which include the dog dish hubcaps, the wheel itself, the tire, and the backing plates. And you've got make 2 for the front and make 2 for the rear. The difference being wheel rim 84 is at the front and 85 in the back. So that should have the little bearing cap up front and none in the back. Now here's the optional wheels. So this looks like the factory stock Pontiac wheels, which are really cool. George Barris recommended mounting these on a 36 Ford, which would be interesting to see. For a hot-rodded Ford, or a custom, I guess. So what we have are center caps, wheel covers, beauty rings, wheel rims, tires, and the front back plates. Same with the rear tires. I do believe these were made out of aluminum originally. Not 100% sure. Now here we have mag wheels as a final option, and these look like the Magnum 500 style. So we've got our wheels going into the tires here and a backing plate, and you make some for the front and the back. Interesting that these are the same wheel number, but the backing plates are different. Panel 5 shows the assembly of our body, and what we see here are the taillights being installed. So we actually have taillight housings, which are chrome, and then the red taillights being inserted into them. We've got our rear windows, separate door handles, right and left, inside rear view mirror, left and right vent windows for that bubble top. There's our curved glass for the windshield. We also have separate molded wiper blades, and then these front chrome spears. Further down, we see the body being installed onto the built-up chassis with interior. So I do believe there are some little clips in the back, and those would swing into the rear first, and then the body would fit on just like a clamshell. Panel 6 shows our final assembly for the car, And what we have going on is the rear bumper, which will cover up the little mounting slots in here. We also have our hood being put into position. Now this is built for if you want to just be able to take the hood off and see the engine. Here we have our front grille and the headlights going in, as well as the hood latch up the center. And then we have a splash shield going on right into the front grille, it looks like. So again, really nice and simple to put together. And down below, we just have the option of using opened hood hinges. This is very similar to the AMT 62 Pontiacs, but keep in mind that this car is the year before. So if you get this one and the AMT one, you'll have both versions of the bubble tops. Now this is where Moebius really pays off with the full color instruction sheets, because now you can see exactly how to paint your model. So here we have under the hood, and it's showing the caution decal being put on here. We also have the interior. Take a look at how cool this is. And then painting tips for underneath. Now I'm not exactly sure if GM had red primer underneath here. I do believe that it was all gloss black, but then I'd have to see one of these up on the hoist to actually make sure. Down below we have our wonderful Pontiac engine. In here it's showing the valve covers, the heater hoses, the heavy duty decal being installed right in here, generator, radiator hose, oil breather caps, fuel pumps, and there are our exhaust manifolds in steel. Again, really wonderful build-up. Down below we have the Pontiac back and front profiles of the car. We have New Mexico plates for 1961. And if you want to make your own plates, don't forget to check out my video about making license plates. Again, really cool stuff on here. You even have the Pontiac brand emblem being installed front and rear. Again, really nicely done. And just below that section, we have the dashboard. And here's how to paint your steering wheel. You leave the top and bottom clear, and paint in the sides as well as the arms down there. We have clock decal, fuel gauge decal, speedometer, generator, steering wheel emblem, radio, and Catalina mark. And then here we have the side of the model, and it shows the Catalina emblem. Now there is a Pontiac Ventura version of this kit also made by Moebius, and I'm not exactly sure what the differences are as far as the plastic model goes, but I do believe with the Ventura there was quite a bit more of the dress-up items like the wheels and whatnot. And at the very bottom of the instruction sheet, Moebius is always really good on this. They tell you what the body colors are, the upholstery colors in here, chrome trim and badges, and then it gives you the paint color name, paint code, and Ditzler code, which is used to match up the real colors from GM or Hudson or any of the car manufacturers. So again, really excellent research in here on these models. So now I'm really excited to take a look at the plastic parts. So let's do that. Here we have the body for our 1961 Pontiac Catalina. And we have all the vents right here on the cowl, which really looks good. We have this support piece of plastic in here so that the bubble top wouldn't collapse when it was taken out of the mold, which is really excellent. But we will have to cut that out of there. We also have the radiator support with the hood latch area. Again, really excellent looking stuff. There is a little seam line that's right in here. Runs up along the top of that. Goes along here, I do believe. Yeah. Can feel it, and then comes out somewhere. So, right on top of this, on that ridge. So taking a look at it from the side, you can see the Catalina script right inside here, which is really awesome. Again, this will look good with some bare metal foil. We also have the back area with Pontiac lettering in here. This is the last year of these tall fins, which is quite nice. We also have our fuel filler door right here. Again, really cool looking stuff. Up front, not too much to see, but once the grill is in there, it will fill that area. Underneath, look at that, we've got a full headliner in here with sun visors molded in and the interior dome light. or courtesy light. There are quite a lot of mold marks in here, which you'll need to fix up with your number 16 hobby blade. Overall, though, this is really excellent looking and will look good sitting beside your AMT 1962 Pontiac. Here we have the chassis pan for our Pontiac. And again, you can see the wonderful detailing in here. With the right amount of paint, this will look excellent. You got your fuel cell and you've got your floorboards in here. You also have the inner fenders. Again, really cool looking stuff. There is a slot in here which is also reminiscent of the AMT kit. Now, somebody did a comparison of these on YouTube, and they were saying that the building technique is the same between the AMT kit and the Moebius one. But again, this is a 61, so you do have the the earlier body. You also have wires mounted up on this fender apron, which is really good. And then here you got your floorboards. You also have your floor mat. Nice thing is the mold marks are off to the side here where the interior is going to glue in, so you can easily get at them. They're not like in the bottom of the floor like on some of the AMT kits. We also have our Moebius mark proud in the back of the fuel tank. Copyright 2015. So this kit is already 10 years old as of this year, 2025. Look, you've even got a little tray here for the battery to sit in. So that's always nice. But yeah, right there on the transmission tunnel, big mold mark. So again, it's really good, well made, but some of those mold marks are just sort of, well, mold marks are always in the wrong spot. Following in the AMT pattern, we also have a full-on perimeter frame in here, molded separately, which fits into the chassis pan. Again, some really nice work on here. You can see all the kicks and bends to get around the rear axle and the front axle to lower the car body down. We do have some mold marks on the ends, or sorry, some parts tree clip-offs. So those have to be cleaned up. Mold marks again, but overall, this is a really nice looking frame. Now all these components are in the same bag, and that would be the body, the chassis, and the frame. So I just want to show you what it's like when they go back together. So here are those tabs, and they go into these slots in the back. We also have these tabs sticking out underneath the fenders, which go into these slots on top of the fender arches. So if I can get this nicely on film, you have to spread the body out a little bit. Okay, so now these should go into the slots. If I can just get them up just a little bit higher. There. And these fit into the tabs. And once they're assembled, you can't really see where the tab is, especially if you paint that all with the flat black or semi-gloss black. Then putting the frame in. You can see again just how nicely this all fits together. Now there are some mounting holes. I did say there was some flash in the holes, so maybe that's what's holding it up a little bit. But overall, you can see just how nice that all fits together and should be a dream to build. Our next parts tree includes the firewall, the dashboard with pedals molded in place. We also have the hood and the radiator support. So let's take a look at this up in the camera. Starting with that firewall. Now here you have all your components. You've got your backing plate for your heater. You also have the windshield washer or motor, windshield wiper motor molded in place, as well as a bunch of the different boxes and wires. Looks like the coil right there. Here we got the little area for the master cylinder to glue in. Looking at that dashboard, again, another work of art. Really excellent stuff on there. Love the pedals molded in place. I hate to say just like on the AMT kit, but it is. Okay, there's our rad support and our hood. And the hood has the brace in the middle, which is really neat. Much like the Oldsmobile later on, for 1970, this always hit people in the head. Probably did on the Pontiac as well, but I meant with the Olds there. Looking underneath on the hood, that's really nice detail work. Really high mold marks right in here on that rad support. Some in the back. Now, always make sure you flatten those off because they may interfere with the fit and finish of your model. Here's another really cool parts tree. We have our interior, and we've got our rear seat, our front bench seat with the seat back, and then our right and left hand side door panels. Again, the detail work is excellent on here. Look at that upholstery pattern, and we've got these nice emblems. Really cool looking. Love the door panels, separate door cranks and window winders and all that stuff. Again, the best detail you can get is to make these flat instead of having an interior tub or bucket. Again, really awesome looking stuff. Turning it over, yeah, sunken in mold marks, but again, easy to sand out and easy to correct. Our next parts tree includes the engine components as well as underhood components. We have a differential cover in there. We've got the front A-arms. We also have a timing chain cover. There's the front insert for the front of the car. It looks like we have two different types of kingpins in here, which is really interesting. And there's our differential cover in the back and the wheel backing plates. So let's bring this up to the camera again. Take a look at the engine. Detailing looks quite nice on there. Would have been good if they had like the shift gate along the side in there. Or I should say the levers. And then there we've got our front suspension components showing the bottom of the shock absorbers in between the springs, which is really cool. There's our battery. Turning it over, you can see the differential cover. Front differential cover. Again, really nice stuff. Look at these big pegs in here. Moebius always does this nicely. They actually have a little bit of plastic that comes out in here, and then it's countersunk on the other side. So locating the engine is pretty much perfect on these. Again, really wonderful looking parts tree. This parts tree contains our air cleaners as well as our factory steel wheels here. We have a whole bunch of parts that have been clipped off. That is interesting, right out of the bag. So I wonder what they were. They might have been other wheels. It kind of looks that way. Here we have our steering column as well. Again, look at those neat wheels. They might be for the Venturi kit. Or Ventura. Pontiac Ventura. Not Venturi. That's a carburetor component. Anyway, got mold marks in underneath there. But overall, I mean, this looks quite nice, quite decent. The wheels have the little beads along the side to grip the tire in, but that's okay. Here we have more suspension components as well as the rest of the engine and our radiator. Again, really cool stuff. There's the upper A-arms, and then we've got the hood hinges in here as well. So bringing this up to the camera, we can again see the detail. Radiator core looks really wonderful on there. Excellent stuff. Excellent, Smithers. Release the hounds. Anyway, there we go. Got the little radiator cap way over here. Reminds me of my 72 Oldsmobile radiator. Long and narrow. Again, I think there was a lot of problems with GM's overheating back in the day because of that long and narrow radiator. But I do have an air conditioning radiator, which is twice as thick, if that helps my cooling at all. But overall, these parts, again, look really wonderful. Our next parts tree includes the intake manifold for the dual carbs. We also have one of the hoses here, which looks like the heater hose. And then we've got our fuel lines. Then here we have some of the optional wheels for the model. These look like the ones for the aluminum wheels. Oh, and there's the centers for the aluminum wheels. So yeah, these are all the aluminum wheel components, which again are really wonderfully sculpted. There is a little bit of flash around here, which will have to be cleaned up, of course. But overall, again, excellent parts from Moebius. Here's two parts trees side by side. Now this one has our differential, as well as a bunch of the different hoses. And we have our exhaust pipes in here, and shock absorbers, the drive shaft, and those control arms. We also have a bunch of the different boosters and whatnot, all the undercarriage goodies, and some more engine parts. So bringing these up to the camera, again, you can see the nice detail work in here. Pretty smooth on the differential. Overall though, quite nice. Bringing this around, we have the shock absorbers, which have those little coil springs in the back, compressed gas struts. I guess they're not coil springs, but they are little bumps, which is nice. Okay, anyway, long pins in here to mount them all to the chassis. Excellent stuff. I really like this. This should be a really good Moebius kit. If you've built this before, let us know how it goes together. Was it easy for you? It looks like it would be a blast. Here we have our transparencies, and we always like to be transparent here on the Monster Hobbies Model Car Garage. Anyway, there is the front windshield and the rear glass. We also have the side vent windows and our headlights, and always remember to get those north and south, east and west with the little grid pattern and not off at some weird angle. We also have our steering wheel here, which is clear, which is really nice, just like the real thing, and our red tail lights. So there's not too much to bring up to the camera. I'll just put our windshields over there. But look at that nice detailing on the steering wheel. It's even got the finger grips in the back, which make it look all much more nicer. And then here we have our taillights, quite simplistic in design, but overall these should look good on the back of your Pontiac, right in that rear taillight opening. Of course, because that's where you want to put them. You don't want to mount them on the roof, unless you're building a police car. That'd be interesting. Whoops. But overall, again, really fantastic work, and it's nice that they were in their own separate bag where they wouldn't scratch one another. Now we get to look at our wonderful chrome, and there are actually 3 parts trees in here. So we'll start with this one. This has the front bumper for our Catalina. It also has our windshield wipers in here, gear shift lever, and then our door handles, rear view mirror, the center of the steering wheel, and a bunch of other little goodies over here. Now, I got to be careful because that front bumper is just hanging on there by a thread. But as you can see, it looks really excellent in here. It's got the nice sloped in the grill with the mesh up there in behind. The nice part with that separate piece of plastic is it would be really difficult to paint down in here without hitting the bumper. So having that separate little panel in there allows you to click that in, paint it somewhere else away safely from the chrome, then click it in. So these look like the rear taillight bezels right in here. Again, really nice. There is a mold mark up the center of them. You could drill right through that and put a light bulb in there if you are so inclined, and light up those rear taillights. But again, really excellent looking stuff. Chrome looks crisp. The only disadvantage is there is that seam line right there around the front bumper, but that's always hard to mold as a one piece without that line in there. Here we have another parts tree in our chrome collection, and again there are some parts cut out of here, so I'm really curious as to what they would have been. There's our rear bumper with the little chrome for the ends of the fins. We also have chrome valve covers, dog dish hubcaps, there's the beauty rings, and then we have all of these. Oh, these would be the center hubcap for those aluminum style wheels. There we have the tricarb air cleaners. No, that can't be what those are. But kind of looks like they are. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, there's our carburetors. So again, really nice work on here. Look at those center caps. They even have the Pontiac lettering on them. So again, nicely done by Moebius. We do have some old marks in the back, so you know how to clean those up by now. Number 16 hobby blade. Overall though, the chrome looks really nice on here. Here I wanted to show the final chrome parts tree along with the tires because these are the Hurst style wheels. Now I did think they were Magnum 500s, but they're not because the Magnum 500 has the thin blades in here. But they still would look quite nice. So there they are beside the white wall tires. So now just bringing these up to the camera, you can see the nice wheel lugs in there. Again, the chrome is really wonderful. The only downside is these have the nubs along the side to lock the hollow tire in. So they really require one of these kind of tires in order to work. And you could file these off if you wanted to put them into some solid AMT type of tires, but then the tire might push out of them. It's the only downside. But let's take a look at these tires. Now, again, they don't say Firestone or Goodyear or anything like that, but they do have a wonderful white wall on there, as well as that excellent looking tread pattern. So again, these should look really nice on your model once you get it all together. But boy, I wish I would put something on there like Firestone or Goodyear or Alliance or some of those other tire brands of the day, Uniroyal, you know, that kind of thing. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, Ernie presents the letter Q. No, I'm just kidding. It's the decal reveal. So let's move our little protective paper out of the way and take a look at these. Now here's something I didn't expect. We actually have upholstery patterns which will slide off onto your upholstery and look like they're actually made out of cloth. So that's really cool. There's our New Mexico license plate right there, as well as Catalina script, AC Delco decals, dashboard decals, and the Pontiac lettering up here, as well as the arrowheads. Again, really cool stuff. Take a look at this. Look at how nice that is. Excellent stuff. Can't wait to try that upholstery pattern. That looks really good. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Are these the best decals we've seen on the show? Well, I don't know. Let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look at our 1961 Pontiac Catalina from Moebius. And next week we are going to have a really cool video. This is one a lot of people have been waiting for because I had actually done a type of poll and some questions on the car. So those will be featured next week. And that car is the AMT 1962 Buick Electra 225. Now this is also a bubble top car, so you're getting two bubble tops for one. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Click that notification bell so when I do unbox this Buick, you will be the first to see it. So again, if you enjoyed this video, give us a good thumbs up. If you want to get some model cars yourself from us, visit our website at www.monster-hobbies.ca to see what kind of model kits that we can offer to you. So until next time, everyone, happy model building, and we'll see you in the next video.